What a beautiful afternoon for a very horrible occasion, but c'est la vie. I'd like to welcome you all. Fantastic to see so many people come out to say goodbye to Victoria. As you all know, I am, some people don't, but Rick Verstappen, we live on this property, me and Roel and Carla. We tried to make it look like a golf course, which we named Victoria's Course. We didn't do a bad job. 3.5 years ago, Victoria got married here. Steve and Victoria wanted the service in our little chapel for photos because William, her dad, passed 5 years ago, and we made a memorial for him. And that's the chapel down the back. Steve, we don't know how to deal with all this, but we'll get through. All Sister Olivia, Emerald, Natalie, Shivaya, all the people that have been hurt, and there's lots of us. All we know that Victoria lived her life to the full, holidaying, partying, we all know that, and she was always fun wherever she went. I heard last night how Steve and Victoria met. And a lot of people don't know, but Steve was a pigeon racing. That's what I heard. He had some champion pigeons. But on a bad day, big storm, I forgot the name, I think it was Sushi, his favorite bird, got lost in a big storm in Victoria, somewhere in Perth. He was very sad for weeks, and then he got a phone call. A girl named Victoria found her in the gutter. Had a phone number on its ankle, or foot. Well, so she rang Steve and said, I found a bird in the gutter, and I think it might be yours. Steve was so happy, drove all the way, 9 hours, and he got reconnected with his bird with a broken leg, but he met Victoria. So, on this note, I hope I'll move you on to Numia, who's starting this service. C'est la vie.
Thank you, Rex. Tēnā koe, tēnā koutou katoa. A warm, sunny Hawke's Bay welcome to you all. Those who have travelled from afar, friends and family, it's great to have you here. Great to see you all here. Before I start, I've got some housekeeping, and not going to show you the exit because I think we're already in the exit. But there's one toilet, bathroom, and if you go out and see the White House there, and a little terracotta car to the left of the house, and then the steps are to the right, and that's where the bathroom, the toilet is. So you're all welcome to use that. Also, for those, if you are feeling a bit hot and you need some shade, there's some umbrellas by the gate if you'd like to grab an umbrella. And also, as you may have seen, there's water at the entrance as well. So you're all welcome to go and get some water. It's just such a beautiful day. Please don't dehydrate. Well, I'd like to also offer you a warm welcome, as Rex has already done. My part here to farewell and celebrate Victoria's life is that Victoria's father, William, was a good friend of my brother, and so I took part in his tangi when he passed. So here we are today, and I'm really grateful and honoured to be officiating this afternoon. If you haven't been here to the bay before, just like to soak up the atmosphere and know we're just on the boundary of Havelock North, and then over there to the right is Te Mata o Rongokako, the sleeping giant. And so it's a historical whakapapa icon for us here in Hawke's Bay. And I'd just like to say that I think that seeing Victoria in her waka is that the Sleeping Beauty is on the footsteps of the sleeping giant. Without further ado, just like to open with a short offering. If I should go before the rest of you, break not a flower, nor inscribe a stone, nor when I'm gone, speak in a Sunday service. But be the usual selves that I have known. Weep if you must. Parting is hell, but life goes on, c'est la vie. So sing as well. And so this is the essence of the service, the celebration that we'd like to offer today and have in memory of Victoria in her honour. And opening prayer, if we all say together, I know Christmas is just around the corner, so 2,000 years ago Jesus taught his disciples to say, if we all join together, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. We have our opening musical.
Just want to see you when you're all alone. I just want to catch you if I can. I just want to be there when the morning light explodes. On your face it radiates. I can't escape. I love you till the end. To tell you nothing you don't want to hear. All I want is for you to say, oh, why don't you just take me where I've never been before. I know you want to hear me catch my breath. I love you till the end. I love you till the end. just want to see you laugh, not cry. I just wanna feel you when the night puts on its cloak. I'm lost for words, don't tell me, 'cause all I can say, I love you till the end. 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 All I can say, I love you till the end. I love you till the end. I love you till the end. That's all I can say. I love you till the end. I love you till the end. I love you till the end.
Our first eulogy, our speaker is Callum Sinton, and I notice a few of you are walking under to place yourselves under the shade, which is absolutely fine. So it's okay if you just come a bit closer and just make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you. How's that? Yeah, I'm Callum Sinton. I'm Victoria's godfather and her uncle. I've done a lot of eulogies in my life, including for my brother and my father. This one will be the hardest because she's so bloody young and it's such a waste. But, you know, I've already deviated from my bloody speech. I didn't even have that in there, so. Yeah, we had a lot to do with Wix. My wife and I had 3 daughters. I can't say Avi, I'll say Rio. It survived. To me, she's Rio. And Will had 4 daughters, so we had 7 daughters. And we did a lot together. We spent a lot of time in the Nara Bay, a lot of fun, a lot of time down Ongonga. So we know the girls extremely well. So it's a huge blow to us and to the rest of you to see such a bloody neat person die so young. But I had a mate who used to say, you know, live fast, die young, and have a nice looking body. And I think Wix epitomises that. She sure as hell put a lot into her life. You know, she really did. She was a rare breed, Wix. She was somebody who was quite comfortable in the boardroom or Woodford Ball, dressed up to the nines, and she could hold her own in a sailor's bar in Perth quite easily. That's just the way she was. It's a rare thing to see somebody like that. She had a lot of empathy for people. She was a lot of fun, swore like a bloody trooper. And I have to say too, there's going to be a little bit of swearing. Obviously, those who know Wix, I'm going to have to tone it down. But I couldn't honestly do a eulogy for her without a bit of swearing, because that was Wix. So yeah, as I say, I'll tone it down a bit. She was always destined to be a drama queen. She, the day after she was born, her mother was taken away to have a melanoma taken out of her leg. So that's pretty dramatic. At 4 and a half, his sister Emerald got leukemia. At 6, Wick's got epilepsy. So, it hasn't been an easy road for her or her mum and her dad. And she's had it pretty hard these last few years with her epilepsy. They got worse in the end. I think one day she had 3 seizures a day. I had a half seizure a few years ago, and I can tell you, it knocked the shit out of me for a year, confidence-wise and physically. So to have 3 in a day is tough. Wix was many, many things. She was the life and soul of the party, mother hen, the boss, attention seeker, loyal friend. She bloody generous. She'd arrive at your place with shitloads of food, drink. That was Wix. We loved her. I'm pissed off, to be honest, that she's gone. It's such a bloody waste of such a good girl. Stories, Jesus. Well, I didn't say that. I'm not going to do the typical eulogies you've probably worked out, because I talked to the other speakers and they're going to cover areas of her life, and I don't see the point in me covering them twice, or them covering them twice. So when she went to Aussie, we kind of lost track of her a little bit because she was all over the place. And so when we were up in Bali, I think, when we were darling, and we thought, I'll shoot down to Perth, go and see the rallies. So there was, I think, Rio and the 3 girls, Winton and Bernie, Jan and I went to this posh restaurant. Remember that, Andy? Up at Coco's in Perth. And I said, oh Christ, I'll shout. Well, Wix came over about half an hour into it and says, oh, Uncle, can we get some drinks? Yeah, go for it. I went up to pay the bill, $997. The little shits had been drinking top shelf. Right. I think was it you, Olivia? Yeah. That was when Wiki said the pupil shouldn't outdrink the teacher. Is that right, eh? Anyway, she got back in touch with our wallet that day. Shit. And I don't know whether a lot of you know, but Victoria ran a shearing gang in Aussie. It was quite amazing. She ran a shearing gang. And when she took over, they were Aboriginal workers. Do you know the story? The men got paid the money and they went straight down to the pub and spent it all. So mum and the kids had nothing to eat all week. So Wix decided, in her wisdom, that she would pay the woman. And this is her telling me the story, she said. And as I say, there's a watered down version of what Wix would say. Shit, Uncle, the bloody abos weren't very happy. And what it did, but they came back to her about a month later and said their lives were happier because mum and the kids were getting fed. And so she was entrepreneurial with that type of thing. And then this is a story that, who told me this yesterday? Olivia, did you tell me about the rhino? Wix, in her generosity, took Olivia to Bali for her 19th birthday. And they're out riding on an elephant. And they're riding along and Wix goes, geez, there's an effing rhino over there, I want to go and see it. And the guide said, no, you're not allowed. Well, I bloody well want to. So they went over, and Olivia said as they got closer, the rhino got pissed off and chased them. But it was just typical of Wix. She, really wasn't didn't mean much, a hell of a lot to her, Yeah, she was just a great girl. On that note, Wiki dying was a hell of a shock to all of us, but it didn't come as a surprise to some of us because she had been living, she'd had her epilepsy, we'd all been talking to her. Steve had been worried for 2 years. We'd all been worried. She was living, probably not taking her health seriously enough, to be honest. And I look out here and I see all you young people, and I want to say to you, talk to your old people. Talk to people like me and my wife. We've got so much experience. We've seen it all before. My kids come to me, oh Dad, this, yeah. Oh, it was different in your day. No, it wasn't. Same shit, different day. Talk to us, take some advice, listen to the old people. You know, the dumbest question I was told by my father when I was a little boy that you'll ever ask is the one you don't ask. So, you know, just, yeah, if you see a friend, my wife and I did it a few years ago, we had friends that were mucking their lives up, to be honest, very good friends. So we sat them down, I mean, this is risky. We sat them down and told them, basically, that you're buggering up your life. This is what you're doing. Well, we lost them for a year. We were assholes. Kicked us out. Now, they are now one of, we're very much closer now because we had the balls to talk to them. So if you see your friends, and I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people didn't try and help Wix, they did. But I'm just saying to all of you, if you see people need help or struggling, help them. Forget about all this PC bullshit and privacy and all that, it's absolute crap. Just get out and help them. Steve, mate, when I first called you, I said to you, I don't know what to say to you. But what I will say to you is, you know, I'm married to a very, very strong-willed woman who's passionate, very, very like Wix. And she spent years abusing her health because she put her family and her job ahead of her health. And it cost her. Her body shut her down. And with Wix, it shut her down permanently. So you've got to look after yourself. You know, don't flog the shit out of yourself for a bloody corporate or, and I'm not getting into corporates, any job. Don't flog the shit out of yourself. You come first. You know, I've always said to my wife, you know, if you don't look after number one, you can't look after anybody else. So number one's got to come first. You know, so you know, so I have a lot of understanding, Steve, of what you've been through trying to rein in a strong-willed woman. I mean, the only bloody time I reined my wife in was the National Party wanted to become an MP in Wellington. And she said, right, I'm off. And I said, pick the divorce papers up on the way through Gisborne. That worked. So yeah, I mean, we'll always be eternally grateful to you, Steve, for doing, we know you did your very, very best for Wix. We really, I honestly mean that. You really did. And there's a little bit more here, but it doesn't need to be said. Thank you.
Thank you, Callum. What a great god dad you must have been to her. And now we got Michael who's going to speak on behalf of Steve.
Hi everyone, can you all hear me? Can you understand me? I'm Steve's dad, and Steve asked me to say a few words, despite the fact that the last time I spoke, Victoria said nobody understood a word that I said. So I thought to myself, I better speak a wee bit better this time, I'll slow down a wee bit and then you'll all understand what I'm talking about. But then I thought, well, if you can't understand what I'm saying, well, tough. But I will try and make it a wee bit more, I was going to say English, but that's not a word we use very often, but better. My knowledge of Victoria is a lot less than a lot of the others. I mean, I've only known her a relatively short time, but what an impact. So I can only talk about the period that I've known Victoria. Oh, the first time I met her was 2013. As you know, Stephen had been living in Perth for a while then. I'd been on a trip back to Scotland. Stephen had suggested or insisted that I call back on the way over and stop off in Perth and meet up with himself and this wonderful girl that he'd been telling us about for a while. The first thing that I noticed when we arrived out at the airport, Stephen picked me up, introduced me to Vic, and like Callum was saying, the first thing you know is how she has rapport with everyone now. she knew about me, she knew about my background, she could talk to me on a level that I understood. And I was to find out that's how Vic got on. She knew, she had this ability to talk to people at their level, as Callum said, the boardroom or the pub. Fantastic. And she was so caring. I mean, that trip in Perth, I mean, I was fed regularly. I'm not used to getting fed. I have other problems when it comes to cooking, but it wasn't just me, Stephen's mates. She fed them as well. I mean, she just couldn't say no to anyone. She was just so helpful. And she liked to organise, but on the best of ways. Everything was organised with perfection. They were actually, she'd already organised our Christmas dinner. I usually do the Christmas dinner. So on a very selfish basis, I'm really pissed off because I'm looking for somebody to do my Christmas dinner after 14 years of doing it myself. Then a few years later, Stephen and Victoria came back to Aotearoa, and she met most of the Mar and Clunan clans then, and again right away how good she was with everyone. Stephen's grandparents were still alive then, and they were so privileged to meet her, and right from the outset she could have rapport with them, especially Nanny. They were Papa and Nanny to her right from the start, and she could gab away with Nanny about all the stupid, so-called celebrities that don't mean anything to anybody else but me, and as if she'd known her all her life. Fantastic ability to do that. Then in February 2018, we all came down here for the wedding of the decade, and thanks to Victoria, we met so many wonderful people, who loved her dearly. And on that wedding day, the thing I can remember, we were all standing down waiting for Vix to arrive, and we all turned round and we heard this sort of music, and Mark and Rix were escorting her down. I looked in Stephen's eyes, and you can tell, people can kid you on, but they can't lie with their eyes. And Stephen's eyes had a sparkle in them when he saw Vic that day. I mean, if ever a couple were made for each other, it was those two. It truly was. It was a great day too. I mean, she organised a wedding. I mean, most people get a wedding organised. I don't know. We went to the pub for our weddings. I don't really know, but most people get. Vic did so much organising. She'd get guys who wouldn't have wore a suit into a suit. And I said to her afterwards, "This is a perfect wedding. I'm only going to give you 9 out of 10 because you didn't have any draft Guinness." And her answer was, "Well, you can get your own draft Guinness, but that's another story." And then after that, after the wedding, of course, they did a trip to Africa. And again, I heard the story about Vic on that trip in Namibia, how generous a person she was. She asked the good tour guide, "Why do you always buy some from the little stalls at the local village?" And I said, "Well, the stallholders, that's the only way they get any money, and they need money for their family, and especially to buy water." So she went out and bought trinkets from all the stalls. But that wasn't enough. She then went to a place and bought a carload of water and took it to the village. Everyone got the water supply might have been a bit peed off, but that didn't concern her. Sheer generosity and caring for everyone that she bought the whole village a supply of water. Then, of course, they did the trip to the Mount Everest base camp. And again, the impact she had on the people. I saw some on Facebook from the Sherpas acknowledging that they've kept that relation. I mean, I think the Sherpas did most of the work. I think it was the deluxe version of the trick they had. I think their carrying might not have been too great. And also thanks to Victoria's passion for enjoying life, Stephen saw parts of the world he might have had second thoughts about himself. He really was quite conscious of his financial obligations, etc. On one occasion, 2013, Celtic had reached the last 16 of the Champions League, which we don't do very often, unfortunately. And Stephen had thought about going, but then thought, maybe not. And it was Vic said, "No, go because when you look back at your life, you're going to tell people, oh, I remember the day I went over to Scotland, saw Celtic playing the Champions League, saw my team playing the Champions League game." You're going to remember that. You're never going to look back in your life and say, "Oh, I remember the day I saved $2,500 by not going somewhere." And I think that was Vic's way of looking at life as well, Get out there and enjoy it. You'll always have something to look back on. You'll never look back and saving yourself a few dollars. Now the fact also, she also sent us over the clippings when Stephen, our hero, kicked the winning points in the rugby championship in Perth, and we get the newspaper cuttings and all the story. She was so proud of him. I don't think she actually understood rugby or football that much, but she was always proud and she was always enthusiastic. I know that she was never up at her house before. She would going to see Hawkesbury win the Mitre 10, and she'd get the face paint and the black and white shirt. But I don't think she knew the rules, but that was she wasn't perfect, as somebody's alluded to. Language was an issue but that. Some places it's not an issue, just have to live with it, I suppose. I think shopping might have been another issue as well, that I shared with Stephen a story about my experiences. Like, I said, well, she's not alone there. The other day Christine said, we need some sunblock, so we went up to New World to get a tube of sunblock, and we walked in and she said, where's the trolley? I said, well, I'm capable of carrying one tube of sunblock. But I discovered when you go to your wife, the supermarket, a tube of sunblock actually goes sunblock, lip cream, face cream, strawberries, $6.70 a shaved ham, and bananas, and a wee bowl of fruit. But then that's what apparently you do when you buy it. So Vic was probably, I think, in that same vein of going into a shop. And as I say, when she called you an effing, a flaming effer, I don't know the word, I should explain in Irish, feckin', the verb feck is to see. So I would also use the expression feckin' means I'm looking at you, and if you believe that, if you think I'm saying something else, my apologies. My last actual meeting with Victoria was in September. Stephen and her had come up for an All Blacks game at Eden Park on the Sunday. It coincided with a Celtic Rangers game that was going to be played in Scotland, and she came along to the Claddagh in Newmarket to watch the game with us. Well, she joined in, and I should explain, if you don't know, that a football game in Scotland is not a place for the faint-hearted. It's not a wee bit like a sport here. People do get a bit carried away. People get wild. People say things that are completely absurd and obscene. Obscenities get yelled all over the place. You wouldn't take your maiden aunt there, but Vic was right at home, right at home. She could join in. But she also knew how to look after people. There was a couple there who'd only recently arrived in Auckland. She made sure they were brought into the body of the kirk. She also made sure met everyone. I'm getting messages from the guys in that club today and through the week. And she also organised photographs, and one of the greatest things was I got my photograph taken with Vic that night, which I just thought was a good photograph, but now it's my last ever photograph I'll have with her. So as I say, that was my last meeting. I'll never forget her. I've only known her for a short time. I wish I wasn't making this speech. I'm looking back on those years I knew that you knew her longer. But we've also got to look forward. We just can't ignore looking forward. We've got to make sure we do the best for her as we go along. And just one last thing I'd like to say to Vic, if it hadn't been for her, I probably would have maybe come down here for a couple of days holiday one time. But thanks to Vic, I've come down here, and we've met so many wonderful people, her family and her friends who all looked after her, welcomed us, and I'm sure will continue to help Stephen down here. It's a great memory, and I just want to say that in addition to that, keep Vic's memory alive. We'll always remember you. Thanks so much. Guru Mila Mahagov for everything you've done. We'll never forget you, and we'll never forget Vic. Slán Vic. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. You've just reminded us that it's not in the duration of our years, it's the quality. Even though you said that you didn't know her very long, it's the quality of who Wix was. Shivaya? No mai girls.
I'm a little shorter than the last ones. So I'm going to cheat by starting with the thank yous. Because this is definitely going to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So firstly, I'd like to put an apology up front for those who I have not mentioning by name. I certainly mention you by heart, by spirit, because the immense work that everyone has thrown and put together, pitched in, just everyone wanted to help. They wanted to put their energy into creating this special celebration for Victoria. So please, if I don't say your name, which I know there are many, know that you are, I with much gratitude to you all. So the ones that I know that were out the front there, Rex, I'm going to put you into some little bunches. Rex, Jacob, Mitch, Risky, Lex, and Raoul. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Raoul. For number one, creating the amazing, the craft work that you did in building Victoria's, in Victoria's, casket. I didn't want to use the other word, sorry. So, it is huge, it's massive, you did a beautiful job. We came around here several times and the energy and spirit of what you were doing, we knew you were all coming from your hearts. I mean, you couldn't do anything else. So thank you immensely, all of you. Rex, for cleaning up this space to be a golf course, as you said. And all the helpers that you had with that. It's just, really, really grateful. Annabelle, Chloe, Gemma and Jess, the bridesmaids, and then of course we have Sally and her husband Alex in Australia. I'm sure they're watching live on Zoom. And sorry, Sally, you make me cry, because I know Victoria would have loved to have had you here. She loved you both very, very much. You both played a huge part in her life for many, many years. It's like you were sisters in so many ways. Phew, that's out. Annabelle, believe it or not, you've actually been my rock through this. Because I'm not the one that asks for emotional help, I'm the one that gives it. And without what you did, I don't know how I would have coped. What you did was absolutely brilliant, and especially the area that you helped in was your guidance, your help was enormous. Chloe, I know you did a lot of photos. I can't even see who everyone is, but really grateful for all of what you did. As I say, I don't know all the details. So Gemma and Jess, thank you enormously, and thank you for being her bridesmaids. Was it 3 years? How many years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago. There was so much happening behind the scenes, and we're all hugely grateful for that. Mandy and Mark, right in front of me. So Wiki's other parents. So if you hear me say the name Wiki, Vic, Vix, Tortoise, what else, girls? Pingu. She has a whole lot of names. It's the same person. She was only Victoria when she was in trouble. So Mandy and Mark, thank you so much, not only for being the other parents, but also what you're doing now. Where we're going to next is to Mark and Mandy's place, and I haven't been there. I have absolutely no idea what they've done. I know that they've had helpers, so huge gratitude to you, and I know that you both loved her very, very dearly all the way through. And I've got to tell you, I had her in the child years, you had her in those other years, those teenage years. So you both played a huge role in her life. Uncle Callum, wherever you went hiding, so who just did the eulogy, so that's Uncle, we always know him as. He's been, he was a great godfather, not godmother, and uncle, all the way through. So thank you for your eulogy, Callum. Really appreciate it. I know you speak from the heart, and I know you loved Wix really, really dearly too. Numia, our priest, Numia Tomona, I hope I pronounced it right, Numia. Huge gratitude to you too, because you know when you have someone coming to support your whānau, to support your your family and friends, you really want someone that's from the heart and that can really connect. And when you came to meet us, the energy, like everyone walked out, they said, "Oh wow, she's amazing." So thank you, beautiful soul. Emma, thank you for being a guiding light to me in this kind of transition of blending and just helping me through. I don't know where you are, but many, many thanks for that and your ongoing support. It's beautiful. Trish from Madison's, providing the beautiful flowers. Where is she? Where is she? I can see you. Thank you, Trish. Thank you. Much love and much gratitude. And I know that, you know, both you and Jacob played a huge part in Victoria's life, but also in William's life as well. So much gratitude to you both. Tyson, wherever he may be, I know he's hobbling along on one leg. So he's I'll call him he called himself the middleman, but I'll call him the lead man of Unisons. He's actually helped us to move forward as far as some of Victoria's employment, but also help to organise this as well too. So huge gratitude to you, Tyson. So please, please share that with your workmates. Victoria's workmates, they're absolutely, grieving hugely. So yeah, much love to you all, and hope we, together we can all, help bring more healing. Christine and Michael, Steve's parents. So thank you for all that you've done. You've been there for Steve from, ever since you arrived, really. In fact, probably since you got the phone call, and you've also providing a lot of the food for the for later on today, and being there for everyone. This is a really tough time for Steve, obviously, and I think it's really important at times like that to have your parents, your real loved ones really close by. Hugely important, and I'm sure deep down Steve will be incredibly grateful for that. Julia, thank you for creating the service sheet, and Jan Marie, my sister, for putting the videos and photos together for the celebration tonight, assuming everything's working and we have a projector in that. I haven't even checked on that, so there you go. And Terry Longley, the funeral directors, thank you. It's so beautiful to work with. Such a loving, caring, compassionate, so guided there once again by Annabelle. I mean, she surely is a guiding light. And then we had Numia confirm that as well. So wherever you may be, thank you hugely for making this a special occasion for Victoria's celebration and moving into the light and love. I also want to thank the people that sent many messages. There's no way I can't keep up with them. I will slowly go back on them, but right across, well, not just Australia and New Zealand, but all over. So thank you for your beautiful messages. She are truly the love, the outpouring of love that has come through all the messages, just unbelievable. Hopefully I'll have the mindset to put it all together at some point after the event. And all those who, all those who travelled to come here too. And I know many of you did travel quite a far, although within New Zealand there was because of COVID. So that's a thank you. So once again, those I missed, much love and gratitude to you. So now the hardest part. And I have written it to read to make it easier for me, so that's where the bit more cheating comes in. Well, Wiki, where do I start? You came in with a bang and you were on a mission. The day you were born, I found out I had a melanoma operation the next day. So we left the maternity home on crutches. You were born on the 8th of January, a significant day. And if you know anything about the frequency of numbers, you'll know that that is the day of the Big Bang. That's Victoria in 1, 2 words, 3 words, I can't count. So we're talking about a big energy here, like Elvis Presley and David Bowie. Yeah, we used to laugh about it, but it was really true. And those who know her know that well. Like these 8th of January stars, you're always larger than life, even when you felt like CRAP, with a huge presence. If we had known better at the time, we would have been forewarned of what was to come in your life. As a baby, you are an angel, and if you haven't got it already, I'm doing the earlier part of your life. So you were an angel, my beautiful firstborn. You slept like a baby, straight away 8 hours a night. That didn't last, eh? Ate like there was no tomorrow, and smiled to break open everyone's hearts. You quickly learnt that your beautiful smile, warmth, and bubbly personality got you all of the attention that you needed. Wiki, you grew up to love the farm life in Onga Onga, the animals, going on the 3-wheeler with your dad, the horse, the land, and all that came with it. We were blessed, truly blessed, to have you in our lives, blessed for you to have chosen to come into our family. Your father and I were so proud of you, Victoria. You were a beautiful soul. You still are a beautiful soul. As a toddler, you would run up to total strangers, even the frail elderly in the hospital corridors, who were struggling to even stand on their own, let alone hold you as you leapt up into their hearts, filling their hearts with joy. Leapt up into their arms, filling their hearts with joy. You love the attention of making total strangers feel wonderful. You love to help people feel really great. You came straight from the heart. Full force. Over time you became the big blister of first 1, then 2, then 3 younger goddesses. You always wanted to be their mother. And just for the record, nothing has ever changed that. We soon learnt that she was not only the mother of her sisters, she was a mother of all her friends and all those she truly connected with at the heart. In hindsight, you obviously unconsciously knew that you would never have your own beautiful little ones. Not this time round, anyway. You had a high need to mother everything and everyone. Your heart was full for the littlies. As time moved on, health problems arose within the family with your epilepsy. Emerald be given 3 days to live with leukemia, and baby number 3, Natalie, in my arms. At this time, your father was under huge mental and emotional pressure on the farm, with challenges and stresses really overwhelming him. One of his many worries, and farmers may or may not relate to this, although William was seriously worried if he had nothing to worry about, but one of his many worries throughout his farming life is that the bulls and rams would not do their deeds. Perhaps he felt that Mother Nature was losing her instinctive natural powers of procreation. And for the whole time, I can assure you, they did work every year. As many of you know, he was a warrior. And as you can imagine, I was not accepting a 3-day life sentence for my children, not at any cost. All of your optimum health and well-being was my only focus here. Baby number 4, Olivia, I forgot to check this with you, Olivia. Bubs to you, magically appeared after the health storms were mostly over, adding more joy to our lives and giving the chance for her, for Victoria, for Wiki, to mother yet another. You never did like me being the mother. You grew up so quickly, wanting to take responsibility for everyone else and everyone else's problems. You cared so deeply. Your heart was continually open and raw. you love so deeply. These health concerns forced me to raise the bar and seek alternative health solutions, much to the horror of many, but this was to protect and heal you all, which thankfully worked with Emerald and not so completely with you. Natural health was our new way, and we were all better and happier for it, even though the delicious baking, Afghans and other sweets I used to cook once upon a time, other treats disappeared from your menu. You even came to love broccoli lollies. And if you don't know what broccoli lollies are, you just cut broccoli fine stalks into little bits and the kids love them as lollies. Well, at least they did in our world. And you also loved sky juice. And for those who don't get that, that falls out of the sky. Which you were headstrong, very headstrong from the very beginning, from early on, and much more so as a teenager. While being blessed with a humongous heart, such a challenging combination when learning to live from your beautiful open heart, these internal battles began between your heart and your head, had you doing mind gymnastics, internal wars within. She always wanted to do her best. That was always her intent. My heart pained to feel your inner pain as you continued to do it your way, to do it the hard way, to not allow yourself to receive help from others, to be hard on yourself and push yourself in all that you did, physically, mentally, emotionally, like a dog with a bone. You succeeded at everything and anything you put your mind to. There was no backing down, including living a hard and fast-paced life. Wiki, you lived nearly 37 years, and you lived it to the full, to the max. And I'm sure her friends here would agree with that one. You were always larger than life. You were always the life of the party. You were the flamboyant, loud one, the one with a much more colourful vocabulary than most, and always with a glass in your hand. After your dad left us, we moved to Havelock, where life was to change dramatically. We all struggled emotionally as we went through the long journey of healing from the breakup and learning to live a different way. The life of a townie, that was something we were not familiar to. So Steve, I'd like to thank you for stepping bravely into Wiki's life. You were a steadying influence. You opened her heart even more at a deeper level. And I know her love for you was immense. She loved you, she trusted you, she honoured you, she respected you. She might not have told you all that she spent, and she might not have told you about the online shopping that's still to come. Quite a bit, I hear. But you were her rock. You protected her like none other could. You were there for her. You checked on her all the time, knowing that the epilepsy was always a threat, especially when she was stressed. So Steve, from my heart to yours, I want to thank you with love and help give you the courage to heal and journey on from this. This was a special unity that was yours and hers alone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Wiki, As I tune into you now, I feel your beautiful big radiating light full of love, and that's who she was. I see you are still on a mission, a little different to the last one. This is bigger and brighter. I see this from beyond the veil. The love you have is immense. I see you will be a guiding light for many, or those who choose to ask for your guidance from the higher perspective. This is what you love to do. So I know many will be, for many you will be the guiding light on earth, on the earth plane, who choose to seek your guidance, or to speak to you in your quiet times. Because Wiki is still Wiki. Victoria is still Victoria. I'm not too sure why she had so many names. So Wiki, we are all blessed to have been a part of your life. The earth is blessed for you to have joined us. So Wiki, may you now rest in peace and love with Maggie and your dad. Wiki, I love you to the moon and back. You have gone way too soon. We will miss you forever. But one thing I know, your shining light will be forever shining in my heart. Thank you. And you actually need to have a drink now. No, I'm done.
Giant of the family. If Vic was up here with us, she'd be giving me a big hug over my shoulder, covering it in boogies in the process, saying, "Love you, bub," to me. Being the baby of the family, Vic and I didn't spend much time together growing up due to the age gap, but this all changed when I hit the legal age, drinking age, and moved to Perth. As my big sister, she took it upon herself to show me her way of life through festivals, clubbing, concerts, and even a rodeo. Vic also had a mushy side. I remember Vic, Mum and I went to see the movie, but it was sold out, so instead we ended up watching P.S. I Love You. Although we were all crying, Vic sat between Mum and I, full-blown wailing. Luckily it was quite an empty movie theatre, and that's the song you heard earlier was from that movie. It was special to all of us. Sisters have a special type of friendship and love. We can fight, drive each other crazy, and completely ignore each other, and still love each other forever and always. Love you, Tortoise. Vic, this is not a goodbye, it's a thank you. Thank you for being in my life and for all the good times and the bad. For the sisterly fights, the love, the laughter, the hugs and the tears. For all the special things only you could do. Thank you for living your life to the fullest and for being the life of the party and so much more. Thank you for the awesome memories, too beautiful to forget, memories I'll cherish forever. But most of all, thank you for being my big sister. Vic, this is not a goodbye. It's a I'll love you, miss you, love and miss you forever. Love you, Wix.
hugely beautiful, heartfelt words, Shavaya and daughters. And now we have Mark and Mandy White and the bridesmaids coming up with you.
Hi everyone, I've had to write down what I am going to say, and I apologise for some of the language I'm about to use. I don't normally speak like it in public. Vic bounced into our lives when Chloe bought a home when they were young teenagers. The two of them were inseparable back then and got up to hijinks together, along with many of their friends. Vic adopted our entire family as her own. We too looked upon her as our honorary daughter and sister. She was a constant in our home, and she won our hearts completely. Over the years, Mark and I have had serious chats with Vic. I remember one was about her partying too hard, her spending, and her potty mouth. To be fair, she listened but didn't heed any advice, just developed those particular skills better the older she got. It was a sad day for us when Vic moved to Perth, but it turned out to be a fantastic move for her. She began her career while working in the mines in health and safety. She threw herself into that role with total commitment and passion. While in Perth, Vic met the love of her life. I remember her calling, excited, saying she thought she'd met the guy, and had me in hysterics, telling me exactly what went down and what he said. Steve, you took the wind out of Vic's sails. She adored you, and you matched her personality perfectly. She told us that you were the one who made a save, which was big for Vic. We all know her love of everything beautiful and expensive. She often came home for visits, and I can see her in my mind arriving looking glamorous in her latest designer dress, her high heels click-clacking and her bright red lippy. She'd walk in and yell, "How the fuck are you? Give me a hug." When Steve and Vic decided to move back to Hawke's Bay, we were rapt. We were going to get more of Vic and get to know Steve better. I feel very privileged to have spent last Wednesday with Vic. I wanted to pick her up, but a loud no was the reply. I'm training for the Milford track. She arrived with Ruby all hot and sweaty. I made it to the fucking Georges, she said, and then was swearing and moaning that she'd forgotten her water bottle and had to backtrack to the shop. I had the most beautiful time with Vic. We reminisced, laughed, chatted about all sorts, and then went for lunch at peak hours. She looked across the bay and said, "What a view! Who would want to live anywhere else in the world?" She was so happy that day and looking forward to Christmas in Auckland with Steve's mum and dad and family, and was so excited about her upcoming trek with Steve. I'm holding those precious last hours in my heart as I try to turn grief into gratitude for having the vivacious, generous, outspoken, loud, beautiful Victoria in my life. Vic, my darling girl, thank you for all the wonderful years. Your love and light will shine in our hearts forever.
I just want to say thank you to Vic's auntie, sorry I've forgotten her name, Will's sister, for putting this beautiful keepsake together. Victoria, my beautiful angel, what a very special person you are. You would light up any room when you walked in with your smiling face, bubbly and effervescent personality, your devil-may-care attitude,
your big heart and generosity. You live for the day. You must have known something that we didn't. I love you. As only a father can love a daughter. Even though you're not of our blood, you're a big part of our family. A sister and a best friend to Chloe, Lizzie and Nick. And another daughter for Mandy and me. One of the proudest moments in a man's life is when he gets to walk his daughter down the aisle on their wedding day. You gave Rix and me that honour on your dad Will's behalf, who had passed away a couple of years earlier. Thank you for that. I'll treasure that day forever. You loved Steve with a passion, and he loved you the same. It was great to see. Now it's time to say goodbye. My beautiful lady. Sleep well. You take a piece of my heart with you, and I give it willingly. I love you forever. You are the dad. Thank you.
Firstly, Victoria would have taken great delight at how much she's going to make me swear. It's a real privilege to be up here to speak on behalf of many of Victoria's very, very close friends, the bridesmaids and Sally. Victoria, Vic, aka Kahu. It is with the greatest sadness we stand here today to farewell you, our friend, to celebrate your life and what a life you lived. Loud, compassionate, generous, honest, outspoken, vivacious, intelligent, loyal, the mother hen with a colourful vocabulary, no filter and a lot of GST. You never missed Vic's entrance, bowling into the room, clomping loudly in designer heels she could hardly walk in at 100 miles an hour. She'd say, "What's up, bitches? Just put together a platter." What that translated to was, I've bought everything in the whole entire supermarket. I've put together a spread that could feed an army and remortgage a house. Her generosity was truly outrageous, paying for dinners, buying gifts, and thinking of others always. They say if you swear a lot, you're more honest. This makes Victoria the most truthful person we know. A dedicated supporter of our kids' soccer games on a Saturday morning, yelling encouragement, swearing like a trooper, re-educating parents on competitive sportsmanship to a new level. The combination of no filter, GST on every story, and a whole lot of "fuck that, darling, that's not going to work for us, only the best for my girls," is how she rolled. Victoria became Craggy Range's self-proclaimed VIP, with staff expected to read her mind and deliver her usual order of Billy Cart's salmon champagne and world-famous potato bread. Her affiliation with the place only cranked up a notch when she discovered a red wine called Te Kahu, which of course was named after her. After these long lunches and a few bottles deep, Steve would roll his eyes and obligingly drive Victoria in the plumbing van to our house, where she'd arrive like a hurricane with 100 bottles of Sophia under arms, thrilled with life and ready to have a yarn. After a bit more on the go in the old Sophia, without warning, this could result in Victoria's drunk crying sessions. These were really loud, came completely unexpectedly, and the main theme was how much she fucking loved everyone and how grateful she was. So it was actually never anything really wrong. It was just the wine getting the better of her. Victoria did everything with immense passion. Her professional career has seen an impressive resume of roles and responsibilities, from early aspirations of being a famous fashion designer to actual sheep shearing in the outback, wearing bogan, dirty dog sunglasses, and eventually landing a successful career in the health and safety sector. We know Victoria was especially proud at the work she did supporting women in safety, in which is a very male-dominated industry. To Vic's family, mums, sisters, and Steve, we know how much she loved you. Mia, the light of her life, and Steve, the love of her life. Steve, to you we want to say, thank you for not only loving Victoria, but taking such great care of her, making her laugh every day, standing by her side, supporting her, going on her mad travel adventures, long lunches. You are simply her best friend. And in her words, the most politically incorrect right-wing feral there is. And quote, I wouldn't have it any other way. Victoria's greatest joy in her life were her people, the friendships she cherished, from her best friend Sally in Australia, Petrina and others overseas, to people she adored, Suzanne Beaumont, Rick, Steph Ward, the Whites and Andrew Blair, all of you that I know contributed so much happiness to her life. To Chloe, Gemma and Jess, and all the girls in Victoria's words, she would have said, I fucking love you. Vic loved her boys, both school friends and Steve's mates later in life. She fitted right in, smashing them all at pool, fishing, sharing a smoke or maybe a packet, listening to country music and certainly holding her own. Sally's words to Vic, you may have been turning 37, but you will stay forever 26, Hawkins. You are simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I have met. Vic, you are here for a good time, not a long time. May you rest in peace with your dad by your side. May God bless you and those that love you. We miss you, my friend. Until we meet again, may the 7 Spanish angels guide you to dance in the stars and watch over us all. Love you.
Headed down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, plays the guitar, pick a banjo now. Oh, North Country winters keep forgetting me, and I lost my money playing poker, so I had to up and lay. But I ain't turning back to live that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking due south out of Roanoke, I caught a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long toke. But he's headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee. And I gotta get a move on before the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one. And if I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Well, the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their names. You don't think of them as human. You don't think of them at all. You keep your mind on the money, keeping your eyes on the wall. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I wanna make $1 million. I wanna live out by the sea, have a husband and some children. Yeah, I guess I want a family. All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their name. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. music will do. And you're private dancer, dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. And you're private dancer, a dancer for money. Any old music will do. And you're private dancer, dancer for money.
Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band, pretty eye, pirate smile. You marry music man, ballerina. You must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancer in my hand. Jesus freaks out in the street, handing tickets out for gone.
incredibly hard as it was for you all to speak this afternoon, and your hearts breaking in grief, you just paid beautiful tributes to Victoria. Now we have a commendation and committal. Eternal God, help us to believe that death is not an end but a new beginning, not the twilight but the dawn, not the midnight but the breaking day. Help us to believe that beyond death there is a life where the broken wings are mended and the lost things found, where all we have hoped and willed of good shall exist, where the dream will come true and the ideal realized, where we shall live forever in your presence. Amen. And so we commend Victoria, Catherine, Rio, Jameson into your hands, O God, and we commit her body to the elements, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, entrusting her spirit to your infinite wisdom and love. And if I may add a blessing in Māori. Victoria, kia hora te marino, kia papapaunamu te moana, kia tere te karohirohi, te huarahi o te tika te pono, te aroha, me te rangi Māori. May your calm be widespread. May your oceans glisten like the greenstone, and make the shimmer of summer always dance across your pathway. Amen.
She's my kind of rain, like love in a drunken sky. She's confetti falling down all night. She sits quietly there, like water in a jar. Says, baby, why you trembling like you are? So I wait and I try. I confess like a child. She's my kind of rain, like love from a drunken sky. Confetti
confetti falling down all night. She sits quietly there, like water in a jar. Says, baby, why are you trembling like you are? So I wait and I try. I confess like a child. She's my kind of rain, like love from a drunken sky. Confetti falling down all night. She's my kind of rain. She's the sunset shadows. She's like
Everyone is welcome to go and say farewell to Victoria in the paddock next door. Go and place a flower.
She's my dreaming tree. Together in this brief eternity. Summer days, winter snow. She's all things to behold. She's my kind of rain, like love from a drunk